Triple E EDC back again with another knife video. This is the Benchmade Mini Adamas, and this is one that I did not think that I was necessarily going to like, but I wanted to try out because it's one of the few offerings that Benchmade is really bringing something new to the table this year. So what's old is new again. The full-size Adamas is also coming out in the similar treatment that this one got, but they're sort of leading off with the Mini Adamas, which I think is an excellent strategy because, frankly, the Mini Adamas is spurring a lot more interest in the Adamas family again. And, you know, with the relaunch of the steel and the colorways, I think that it's genius to get a lot of focus on the Adamas family so that people don't pass over the full-size Adamas in favor of the Mini. Rather, they'll buy the Mini and that'll interest them in the full size and they'll end up with both. Great strategy by Benchmade. In any event, this is the OD Green and Flat Dark Earth version of it. This is one of the new colorways. The new steel that they're having in this used to be D2 for the Adamas family. Obviously, there was no Mini Adamas before, but this is CPM Cru-Wear, which for those of you who know Cru-Wear, this is probably the best possible seal choice for the Adamas family. And I'm pumped that Benchmade even decided to use it. It didn't seem like it was something that would even be in their repertoire. And frankly, they could have just used M4, which Benchmade already does very well. And M4 would have been a great choice, you know, to replace D2 as part of the Adamas family. You know, they already used M4 successfully with the Contigo. They used it with the Super Freak, right? It's a mainstay of Benchmade. But here you got Cru-Wear, which increases, you know, it has a lot of similar edge retention to M4, but it increases the toughness quite a bit, right? It's sort of a happy medium for the most part between 3V style steel and an M4. Right, so 3V being a little bit more corrosion resistant than M4, 3V also being a little bit tougher. I think M4 has more edge retention, so it's also used as a competition steel. In any event, Cru-Wear is decently easy to sharpen given its other capabilities, holds an edge basically forever, is incredibly tough, which is great for, you know, basically a knife that a lot of military guys are going to end up using as a shovel, pry bar, all sorts of other stuff. It's an excellent choice for that. And the corrosion resistance is sufficient for most purposes, especially with the coating on the blade here. I can't recall offhand, but I do believe that the coating on this one is a Cerakote, which is fine. Cerakote will wear away, but it is plenty good. And Benchmade does have sort of blade replacement options for, I think, you know, traditionally it's been 30 bucks. I think they recently changed to a percentage of the overall purchase price. But either way, you know, having a company that's going to reblade is a great option when you hard use your blades. All right, I've been talking for 3 minutes about this knife without really showing you the size comparisons and stuff like that, which I think is important here because, you know, we really need to get an idea of how does this stack up against the full-size Adamas, right? So let's go ahead and start with the Benchmade Super Freak and the Mini Freak, right? And you can see that this is actually kind of an in-between size between the Super Freak and the Mini Freak, making this sort of an ideal EDC size despite the fact that this is actually an Adamas. Here is a Benchmade Griptilian, right? So as you can see with the Griptilian here, slightly shorter in the blade, slightly shorter in the handle. Again, you know, this is an EDC, one of the best EDC knives on the market, and this is, you know, approximately the same size, just slightly smaller, right? So, again, great choice there. Let's go ahead and look at the Spyderco Paramilitary 2 and the Para 3, and we are still looking at an in-between size. So, I think that's it for the size comparisons, but that really does give you an idea of the size here. Now, this does have a lot of the traits of the Adamas that are really, really nice and that a lot of people hold dear. One, you have that nice Swedge up top. You have the fuller that tells you, you know, hey, yes, this is a Shane Seibert design. You have the nice thick stock, which the stock is not overly thick. Let's go ahead and take a look at the Benchmade Griptilian, right? And then let's go ahead and take a look at the Shaman, Spyderco Shaman, right? So this is not overly thick stock. It's actually pretty decently, it's decently thin given the use here. The edge on here, this came pretty sharp, although I did hear some stories from others that theirs didn't come quite as sharp. And it does have the full steel liners here that are milled out with these holes. These holes are generally indexing holes. I think that was the original intention, not only to lighten the knife, but also as indexing holes for changing positions from, you know, front to back, because this is used by a lot of military people. At least the full size is. All right, this does maintain the full size Benchmade deep carry Parkerized clip, and it has a lot of the same feel, both in thickness, although this is thinner than the Adamas, and it also has sort of the same, you know, feel of the blade. When the blade comes down, that that weighty closure. If you've ever held a full-size Adamas, you sort of know what I'm talking about. It feels different than other Benchmades, other Axis locks, because it just feels weightier and thicker. Well, despite the fact that this is a much smaller knife than the full-size Adamas, you get that same feeling of, you know, weightiness and in the closure. Not necessarily heavy. This is actually not that heavy of a knife, and is perfectly, you know, a perfectly acceptable EDC weight. I wouldn't say it's for summer shorts, but it's a perfectly acceptable EDC weight, whereas the full size was, you know, I made a video on this. The full size wasn't really EDC friendly, in my opinion. And I may get another full size and give it another chance based on this thing, because this thing has just been great. It's really a great thickness in the hand. I have size large gloved hands, and it's kind of perfect. It really is. It's kind of perfect as a full size knife, even though it says mini on it. And the one thing that I notice off the bat that I would change if I could, so let's see if I can find it. The 943, where's the 943? Do I have one? Not the 943, I'm sorry, the 945, which is the smaller one. I can't find mine now, but the 945 has it has a clip, like the arrow clip, this clip, right? It has this arrow clip, but it's a smaller version of the arrow clip. It's not the same size. I wish they took this clip and shrunk it down a little bit for this knife, since they were shrinking. This is the same clip that's on the full size. I don't like the way where this clip lands here. It lands, you know, it covers up two holes here. You know, like I said, the middle hole is usually what you're going to be indexing as you're coming around, if you're going to use this as an indexing, right? Well, instead of being able to use the middle hole, you know, that's covered up by this, right? At least I think on the full size, if I remember correctly, the clip ended right before that second hole. You know, you can go check on my old video, but I'm pretty sure that's where it ended. And I would have liked to see that here. Now, maybe I can try a mini deep carry clip, like on the Bugout. This clip, this is the bailout actually. This clip might work on there. You know, let's see if I can see the length, right? So yeah, that would pretty much land. The mini deep carry clip here would pretty much land exactly where I remember I feel like I remember the hole landing, the clip landing on the original size one. So that's my main takeaway from it, as you know, as one thing I would change. As a result of that whole thing, the clip is a little bit of a hot spot. As you can see, the clip ends here instead of the well of the clip, you know, being on the meat of my palm. The clip is directly on there, so it's a little bit of a hot spot, but it's not too bad. But other than that, the ergonomics on this are great, like very good. I am excited. This is an early contender for Knife of the Year. I don't think it's going to end up as a knife of the year. I think that there'll be, you know, I think there's a good possibility this will be a top 10 knife this year, which is saying a lot because, you know, like I said, I made a video of why I sold the Adamas and why I didn't think it was necessarily a great EDC option. This is an excellent option. I'm happy with this so far. Again, this is not a review, it's just first impressions. I've carried this, just in case you guys are curious, I've carried this for about 3-4 days now. And I've got a good feel for it. But I'm pumped about it, guys, pumped. All right, go ahead and drop a comment, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you get all my content. And if you have any input on this, if you pick one up, let me know what you think below. This also comes in that gray colorway, gray blade with a black G10. That's the other colorway. I don't know if I mentioned that. Yeah, if anyone's wondering about the first productions on this, by the way, this color did not get a first production on the Mini. The black and gray one got the first productions on the Mini. On the full size, this colorway will get the first productions, and the black one will not. So just a little bit of information there if you guys are into first productions. Thanks for watching.